हरे कृष्ण ग्रंथराज Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in story from chapter 73 The rainy season and autumn in Vṛndāvana Canto 10 After returning home the cowherd boys related all that had happened and the elderly cowherd men and women were amazed to hear about it. They also concluded that Krishna and Balarama must be exalted demigods that had appeared in Vṛndāvana. Thereafter, the rainy season began, giving life and sustenance, giving life and sustenance to all living beings. The sky became covered with dense dark clouds, and there were flashes of lightning on the horizon. The sun had evaporated water from the surface of the earth for 8 months, and now that the proper time had arrived, it was distributing it. Similarly, the government ex- exacts exact exacts taxes from the citizens, and then, as needed, it distributes the wealth for education, public utilities, and sanitation. The clouds' distribution of rain is also compared to the distribution of wealth by munificent persons in times of need. The earth had appeared very emaciated because of the summer heat, but with the onset of the monsoon, it once again became nourished. This is compared to a person who becomes emaciated while performing severe austerities, but then becomes nourished again after he achieves the fruit of his tapasya. At night, the stars are not visible because of the clouds, and so the light of the fireflies becomes prominent. In the age of Kali, atheists and miscreants become very prominent because the Vedic principles have become obscured. After a long period of silence, the frogs begin croaking when they hear the rumbling of the clouds in the sky. In the same way, Brahmana students, after silently performing their early morning duties, begin reciting their lessons when called by their teacher. In the age of Kali, everyone is sleeping in ignorance. But when there is the call of a great Acharya, people take to the study of the Vedas to acquire real knowledge. There are many small streams that become dry in the hot season, but with the advent of the rainy season, they flourish. Similarly, materialistic persons are dry, but sometimes when they are in a so called opulent position, they appear to flourish with nice home, bank balance, and family. With their wealth of grain, the fields give joy to the farmers, but those who live in large industrialized cities become disgusted when there is ample rain. Taking advantage of the newly fallen rainwater, all creatures become attractive and pleasing, just as a devotee becomes beautiful by engaging in the service of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada writes, we have practical experience of this with our students. Before becoming students of ISKCON, they appeared very wretched, but by following the rules and regulations, they have increased their bodily luster. When they are dressed in saffron colored cloth with tilaka on their foreheads and beads in their hands and on their necks, they look exactly as if they have come directly from Vaikuntha. Where the rivers merge into the ocean, it becomes agitated. The water is already turbulent due to the strong winds. This is just like the mind of an immature yogi who becomes agitated because he is still tainted by lust and attached to the objects of the senses. In the rainy season, mountains are not at all disturbed by the incessant striking of rain, just as devotees whose minds are absorbed in the Supreme Lord remain peaceful even when threatened by all sorts of dangers. During the rainy season, the roads become covered with grass and thus are difficult to make out. Similarly, when the scriptures are no longer studied by the Brahmanas, they become obscured with the passage of time and are therefore misinterpreted and forgotten. The clouds are the well wishing friends of all living beings, but the fickle lightning moving from one group of clouds to another is like a lusty omen who is unfaithful even to a virtuous man. In this regard, Srila Prabhupada says, after all, in the material world, a man requires a woman and a woman requires a man. When they are combined, they should live together peacefully in Krishna consciousness and not be restless like the lightning flashing from one cloud to another. When the curved bow of Indra, the rainbow, appears, it does not depend upon a string. Similarly, when the Supreme Lord appears in this world, he remains free from all material qualities and independent of all material conditions. During the rainy season, the moon is not directly visible, our vision being covered by the clouds. Still, the clouds are illuminated by the moonshine. In the same way, in conditional existence, the soul cannot be directly perceived because its consciousness is covered by false ego. Still, the soul's consciousness is what illuminates false ego. The peacocks become enlivened with the arrival of the monsoon clouds, just as people distressed in household life feel pleasure when the pure devotees visit them. Srila Prabhupada comments, we have practical experience that many of our students were dry and morose before coming to Krishna consciousness. But after coming in contact with devotees, they are now dancing like jubilant peacocks. During the rainy season, the source of the lakes become unpleasant because of mud, rocks, and the growth of thorny bushes. Still, the cranes continue to meander there. Similarly, materialistic persons always remain at home, even at an advanced age, and do not go away for spiritual improvement, despite so many disturbing conditions. When there is too much rain, the flood breaks through the irrigation dikes in the fields. Just as in Kali Yuga, the atheists' false theories break down the boundaries of Vedic injunctions. When the Vṛndāvana forest became lush with ripe dates and jambu fruit, Lord Krishna and Balarama, surrounded by the cows, when when the Vṛndāvana forest became lush with ripe dates and jambu fruit, Lord Krishna and Balarama, surrounded by the cows and their cowherd boyfriends, went there to enjoy. The cows moved slowly because of their heavy udders, but when Krishna called them, they ran quickly, and out of affection, milk flowed from their udders. The Lord saw the joyful aborigine girls, the trees that were dripping sweet sap, and the waterfalls flowing down from Govardhana hill. When it rained, Krishna would sometimes enter a cave nearby or the hollow of a tree to play and eat roots and fruit. Along with the cowherd boys, Krishna would regularly eat his lunch of boiled rice and yogurt, which was sent from home while sitting on the large rock near the water. Lord Krishna would watch the contented bulls, cows, and calves sitting on the green grass and grazing with their eyes closed. While observing the beauty and opulence of the rainy season in Vṛndāvana, which was expanded by his own internal potency, Krishna would offer all respect to that season. After some time, the autumn season arrived, making the skies cloudless, the water very clear, and the breezes gentle. In the same way, the process of Krishna consciousness purifies the minds of the fallen yogis when they return to it. The animals became freed from their crowded living conditions, and the earth became cleansed of its muddy condition. The clouds, having given up all they possess, appeared white and shining, just like peaceful sages who have given up all material desires and thus are free of all sinful propensities. The streams sometimes flowed from the hills and sometimes they stopped. Similarly, experts in transcendental knowledge sometimes speak extensively on the subject and sometimes they remain silent. The fish swimming in the increasing shallow ponds did not understand that the water was drying up, just as foolish men in material life cannot see how the remaining duration of their lives is diminishing. Just as these fish suffer greatly as the water heats up from the sunshine, so do persons who remain overly attached to family life, being unable to control their senses. Being without hope of further rain, the farmers construct barriers to conserve the water that remains in the fields. Similarly, one who is advanced in self realization conserves his energy by controlling the senses. The autumn moon relieves the suffering caused by the sun's heat, just as true wisdom relieves a person of the misery caused by identifying the material body as the self, and as Lord Mukunda relieves the gopis of Vṛndāvana of the distress caused by their separation from him. Just as autumn sky shines brilliantly with stars at night, so does the consciousness of one who has realized the purport of the Vedic literatures. Just as numerous stars surround the full moon, Lord Krishna was surrounded by the members of the Vrishni dynasty. By the influence of the autumn season, all the cows, doe, women, and female birds became fertile, and they were followed by their respective mates in search of sexual enjoyment. Similarly, the activities that are performed in the devotional service of the Lord are followed by all beneficial results. With the rising of the autumn sun, the lotuses blossom happily, except the night blooming kumut. Just as in the presence of a strong ruler, everyone becomes fearless except thieves. In all the towns and villages, great festivals were held for honoring and then tasting the first grains of the new harvest. The earth, rich with newly grown grain and beautified by the presence of Krishna and Balarama, shone wonderfully. The merchants, sages, and kings who had been confined because of the rain were at last free to go out and attain their desired objectives, just as those who attain perfection in this life can, when the proper time comes, leave their material body and attain their eternal forms. Hare Krishna.